Hello, and welcome back to Alan Wake 2, the Lake House expansion. In the previous episode, we have gone through the holding and observation sublevel, and the information on Mr. Lane and how he has been handled over here made my blood really boil. And then we heard that our team was in the building as well. And we noticed how Dr. Marmont, Jules Marmont, dispatched them. Which, to say the least, is not very nice. Is it immediate death? Can still run? I can't do much more because I have no healing items whatsoever.
I mean, that name is not very scientific. I mean, came up with that. Shadow.
Comes to my lab and treats me like some kind of assistant. Un putain d'assistant? Moi? I run the lake house. This is my facility. Mine! He cannot just walk in here for 1 week, make some speeches and then fly back to New York. Espèce de crétin, prétentieux. The jackass thinks he's a fucking rock star. And he made fun of the name. Huh. Oh, the shadow. The shadow is good. It's evocative.
Okay.
He is just a jealous, spoiled little child. And I will make it so everyone can see this. I will make it so no one even remembers his name. Tous ces imbéciles là, hein? They all think I am a pencil pusher. They think I do not have the mind for such work. Eh bien, ils verront. Ils verront! I will take what they think is possible. And I will break it.
Well, maybe you shouldn't. I mean, it's a little bit late for that, of course, but yeah, clearly the guy had a very serious beef with Darling. So oh shit. No, close it from another side, god damn it. Okay, I don't think they're following us. Progress update number 5. Got the firing mechanism working. It's throwing the test projectiles a good distance. It turned out pretty nicely. The fittings between the grenade launcher and custom components are a bit loose. No proper lathe here, but at least it works. Now I need some actual black rock for the tests. I know there is some on sublevel 5, but the acting inventory supervisor doesn't get access to that floor. What in the hell is that thing? Okay. Zero 02 12 19. Hello, Karla. I have decided to reassign you from Project Ramnus to Inventory Management. Your title will be changed from Senior Researcher to Acting Inventory Supervisor effective immediately. You may find this change sudden, but I have no doubt someone with a nut allergy like yourself will prefer to work alone in the inventory booth than out in the open where any dangerous spies may be waiting to hurt you. Perhaps some hard work will keep you from making any more unfounded HR complaints. Regards, Dr. Jules Marmont. What a son of a gun he is.
There was a crack in the lake house. The Marmonts had let the lake in, but the water could not flow. It became trapped, stagnant, went bad. The truth was controlled here. The art was not art, just content for the experiment. The contrived overlap rebounded on itself, compressing, compounding, reflecting and refracting. An urban legend and a murder in constant imbalance, cause and effect hopelessly entangled. Arranged wrong, the dream logic flawed. The feedback loop doubled and redoubled, out of control. The pressure kept building, looking for a release.
Okay, this should get me down to sublevel 5. And this should get me past any other problems.
Charge the Blackrock launcher by holding down mouse button. Charged shots go further and deal more damage on impact. Okay. The floating flashlight was an interesting effect. Sublevel 5 is where we need to go. There are few places that we can still check on 2 and 3. Okay. I need to reach the elevator. I don't think I can do it from here. Shit. I truly believe that the fast legs in this case are perhaps a better approach. The elevator is gone again. It was right here.
Finally! Something works on these bastards!
So then flip the switch and go to the other end. Okay.
The shadow had changed Jules Marmont into a hostile, paranatural entity. That made everything simpler. No arrest, no paperwork. I could put him down like the monster he was.
Sublevel 2.
Okay, to the right of me, interview room.
Lane was found dead in his cell this morning. It's an unfortunate setback. But when a door is closed, a window is opened. I believe that's the saying. Lane may be gone, but he left us with a goodbye present. A final piece of art. This piece is different. It's raw emotion, pure truth. He put everything he had into this one. Literally. Every reading we take is off the charts. This is what we have been waiting for. It is the key. I will achieve what no one has before me. Not Darling, that arrogant shit. Not my selfish harpy or the wife.
So, we have a painter and a painting that can talk. Clearly connected. But Lane was dead before any of this even happened.
I never needed any of them. The fools will finally see me for the genius I am.
No, 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 no. Not used to these mappings yet. Somehow this is not a safe haven. Yeah, the break room is all the way over there. From Jules Marmont to Project Ramnus staff. Subject: status of Project Arbutus. As a head of research of the Lake House, it is important that I am informed of all proceedings at this facility. Since the other Dr. Marmont is failing to provide me with details about her team's progress, I ask that you all seek information from members of her team. Anyone who comes to me with details on Project Arbutus's current progress will be rewarded. Oh cool, now we're spying at each other. How could that go wrong? So we have two options. First is to go to the local break room. The other is to go to the break room on floor 3. Sublevel 3. Did you remove the elevator again? They always move it, right?
Sublevel 3.
Don't like paint spear. Yeah, that happened. Christ almighty, I'm all the way over here. Okay, let's redo this real quick.
The Shadow had changed Jules Marmont into a hostile, paranatural entity. That made everything simpler. No arrest, no paperwork. I could put him down like the monster he was. Sublevel 2.
When does it disappear? Hell. Now it's gone, okay. As soon as you leave it out of your sight, it's gone.
Lane was found dead in his cell this morning. When the door is closed, a window is open.
So I have a very strong feeling that now these guys are stalking me in the walls. And I really don't like this feeling. Fortunately now Esteves does not say anything. I hope that this is still okay. This is still well, this will still work out.
Sublevel 3.
Now, what do we do here? Because you can spot it's not just the different thing. You can see the silhouette. So this one can still charge at you. God damn. Son of a gun, and I'm dead. Damn. Any option to somehow expose these guys? Because that is not super viable.
Sublevel 3.
So we have one over here, but this does not look very active. And there is this guy. Is this proximity? Yeah, this is proximity. Okay. And this guy is done for. Silhouette is gone. So we can move on. Cool. What about this dude?
There was a crack in the lake house. The Marmonts had let the lake in, but the water could not flow. It became trapped, stagnant, went bad.
I believe we heard this one. Now we have a few rooms here and there to check. Stay away from the walls. Check for the silhouettes. Should be clear. That seems like a
Water
page.
dripped from the ceiling as Diana stared at the folders stacked on her workstation. Each one was a branch of research. Drip. Some were thin, some thick. They represented years of her life, her work, dissecting the act of creation and examining the bloody pieces. Bringing in live subjects had been her idea. Drip. Bureau leadership denied their request, But after HQ went into lockdown, she took advantage of the chaos and got her artists. Jules had whined about the optics. Diana ignored him. Now in her office below the waterline of Cauldron Lake, she considered how to proceed. Jules was convinced the page they had found would come true. It promised disaster. A situation out of control. Impossible. Diana was always in control. Drip. Drip. She needed answers. She needed to quantify, to define, to control.
Well, it's a pretty thick reference between her being in control and not being able to fix her goddamn office so that the water does not drip from the stupid ceiling. And second, I wonder how Jesse would look at all these things. Like them taking, just abducting people. I believe that's something that Jesse would be strongly against. It's like mostly quiet place, right? But occasional typewriter starts to type and it just triggers me. Nope. Yep.
Jules' team has found new pages written by Wake. He must have gotten Rudolph Lane painting again. His bullshit pedestrian methodology cannot produce results before mine. I have to go faster, no matter the cost. We're still behind our projections. The more the machines can produce, the closer we can calibrate them to Wake's style. But proper calibration takes a lot of raw material, and production is slow. No. We're changing directions. The hypothesis remains unchanged. Imitating Wake's writing style will allow us to generate art capable of linking with the threshold. Our live subject should match Wake's style much faster. People can be calibrated just like a machine. You simply have to push the right buttons.
You just see all these scientists, all these smart people, let's be honest, go completely out of line, go just off the rails. To use art with the power, the shadow, with the power, to use art with the power of the shadow, we must first define art. Thesis. Does a critique define what is art? Where do we find critiques? Kidnap, lure in critics? Or the audience? Are we the audience? Must we like the art? What is the role of an artist? Who is an artist? If you believe you are an artist, are you one? Do you need to be good? Does quality matter? Define an artist. A drug-using bum, often wears a turtleneck and drinks red wine. Left-wing political views. Danger. If left-wing politics made real by the shadow. Any right-wing artists? Not for the abstract art or poems. Dabbling a little bit into political side of things. I will admit that I am terrified of walls. We have arrived to this point of my existence where I am afraid of walls. Congratulations to everyone involved. It is an achievement. I am officially afraid of walls. Yes. Now the funny thing is there was a wall with one of these horrible creatures drawn. Mmm. Mmm. There are 3 of you. Any volunteers? I see you. I'm scared. What am I doing with my life? Almost. That is very deep.
Error. Please hold. Please
This is not level 4.
Please hold. Please hold.
You again. Are you Rudolph?
The Marmonts were holding a painter here. Rudolph Lane. Does that ring a bell?
The shape of a man.
I think you are, or were, Rudolph Lane.
Himself, a self-portrait. Make them see.
Look, I might be able to help you. But I need information, cooperation.
No brush, just himself.
Well, hello there.
Rudolph Lane was dying. Both murderer and victim. Red hues ran down his hands. Was it scarlet? Or cadmium? Too vivid to be maroon. Names don't matter, he decided. Color was pure. Inspiring. For the first time in years, he wanted to paint. A self-portrait. To say goodbye. No. To make them remember. To make them see what they did. He slapped his hands against the wall to steady himself. He began from there. No brush, just himself. The strokes were crude, violent. The pain, misery, and hate he'd endured there. The fire in his eyes and hands and bones all spread into the shape of a man. It was quick. Natural. Like a heart attack. He slumped down to the floor, smiling at the anger he left smeared across the wall.
God damn. I said it before, his treatment was inhumane.
Sublevel 4.
Research archives. At least no paint so far. Can't interact with these ones. Break room, my beloved. You are not my beloved. You are horrible, empty, shifting geometry bullshit. Okay, I probably should read it all of it, by the way. Add Booker abducted to right. Not level 4 threshold manifestation. Clearances. Suicide. Encountered shaded Jules Marmont shaded. Okay. Nah, okay, I'll take it.
Come on.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Did you extract rocks as well? You gonna jump scare me or not? God damn. Oh, this page is not interactable. No, but I... But I pointed at you. I pointed at you. None of you reacted. None of you reacted. Should I poke you like this? If either of you come alive, I will be angry. Okay, scientific research. It's not bullets that trigger them. Don't like this one. Don't like this one either. Don't you dare to come alive.
Reach the woods!
No. Just wasting my flashlight on this little. If I'm supposed to be a trained FBC agent, I don't know how Kieran survived until her age. Maybe that's her first actual engagement. That would explain a lot of things.
Okay, black rock powder. Need to keep an eye out for more of these.
That is certainly a shape. There are a lot of shapes. think this one should come alive. Just immediately. Eat black rock. Right away.
This fucking maze.
Yeah, if only we could climb up on these kind of shelves. Why did you change your texture so much? Well, it looks like a straight shot. Do we dare to run? Or do you reckon this is exactly what they want? Oh, it's turning it off. I changed my mind. I changed my mind. Follow-up report. On the morning of the musician held at the lake house for research purposes was discovered missing from her cell. Security footage of the cell from the night before was damaged by electrical interference of an undetermined nature. Known professionally as had produced a song called 6 Deep Breaths during her time at the lake house that was considered very promising as research material by Dr. Momo and Dr. Momo. Somehow used a song to orchestrate her escape. Efforts to find were brief, with any wider search considered an unacceptable risk to the lake house mandate of confidentiality. Actions to be taken. A. An investigation is currently ongoing as to whether any staff at the lake house were involved in the disappearance of. An investigation is currently ongoing as to whether the subject used the song they created as a means of escape. All material related to and work produced by will be stored in the archive for future reference. Online checks for the public reappearance of are to be performed weekly. Known web addresses associated with in the past, known addresses with parautilitarian/AWE activity. This House of Dreams, blogspot.com, sirensociety.io. The up-to-date full list refer to. The definition of art, a study. To truly comprehend the threshold within Cauldron Lake, we must first understand its attraction to art. However, even the definition of art is as varied as the range of crafts that fall under the name. To that end, we must open a track of research dedicated to defining and quantifying art, ultimately rendering the concept into a unit of measurement. To begin, let's not try to understand humanity's definition of art, but rather Cauldron Lake's preferences. Past cases of Cauldron Lake threshold effect in reality have centered on writing, Wake 2010. Cinematography is also suspected, though not directly confirmed, Zane 1970. What about other mediums? We will need to test the viability of painting, poetry, music, photography, sculpting, dance, and so on, not to mention the myriad of genres or methods within each medium. And what about crafts outside of the most common artistic expressions? Does any act of creation on a high level of expertise merit the title of art? Baking, woodworking, etc.? What about non-physical mediums? Why is music an art and philosophy is not? Does something become art due to its medium, its quality, or perhaps simply through the intent of expression? Or an equation made up of all three? What would be the order of importance? What thresholds must each factor reach for the equation to succeed? Clearly, there is much to determine. We must begin with developing a methodology using a vast range of arts and general creative endeavors, both physical and mental, then find a way to test their potential connection to Cauldron Lake threshold. Cauldron Lake is an enigma, with many layers to pull away if we are to understand it and ultimately bring it under control. The work will take years.
The lake house was underwater. The Marmonts' ambitions had finally been realized. Jules had dangled the painting like a lure and hooked an ocean. Their machines couldn't hold it. A fault in the system. The water rushed in, filled it until it was ready to burst. All their successes and failures had led them here. The work had made them into monsters. But the lake house was still theirs. It always would be. They could feel an outsider trespassing in their labs. "I know you're here," they called out to the dark. They hunted floor by floor. They wouldn't let the intruders stop their progress. This was their home, their beloved tomb beneath the waves.
Six, 85298. Okay. Oh. Diana, I just received a letter from Darling about a request you made to bring in live subjects. What were you thinking? Do you know how that looks? Jules. What did he say? Was it approved? No, he refused. You know protocol does not allow this sort of thing. And he says he will be making a trip to the lake house to check in on us soon, like we're children. This is very bad for our reputation, Diana. Please, if you have an idea like this, come to me first. Abandoned project archived. Diana, considering the details on the new page we have found, I believe we need to abandon the research into Alan Wake's writing. We must not endanger our staff. Don't pretend like you're worried about them, Jules. You're just looking out for your own ass. The fact that the pages are detailing future events means that they are the correct method. We have to learn how to harness their power and dictate events to meet our goals, not wakes, whatever those may be. The ATDs are producing better and better results. We just need to keep doing the work. No, Diana, I'm looking at the page right now. Constant imbalance, out of control, a crack in the lake house. If we continue with this research, we will lose our facility, perhaps more than that. What is the point of succeeding if we are dead? I am a head of research here and I forbid you from proceeding. You can't forbid anything. You're not going to keep me from the most important work of my life. If you are too much of a coward to keep pushing ahead, then I'll finish what we set out to do here alone. We have plenty of ongoing lines of research. I suggest you pick one and leave Wake's writing to me. You always needed me more than I needed you. Hello, Dr. Momo. I received your formal complaint about Jules' behavior. You claim he's maliciously keeping research material away from your team, but he says they have simply been misplaced. I understand you are frustrated, but I recommend giving his team a week or so to find the pages and return them to your team. If this issue persists at that point, then let's discuss your desire to escalate the issue. Does that sound agreeable? So it was just half a year ago when they started to research different stuff, right? When a certain project was split into Arbutus and Ramnus, and Jules went with one of them, pursuing paintings, and Diana stayed with Wake's writing. But at a certain point, they decided that since the old house is in lockdown and there is information blackout, perhaps they can ignore the previous directive to not bring any live subject and actually bring them. When did they bring Rudolph Lane? Somewhere between 6 months ago and now? It's just they. I mean, okay, the person who might have been unwell, like probably was unwell in the start, but they made him suicidal in 6 months.
September 13th, 2023. Notes regarding the concept of the tortured artist. A romanticized image of the sensitive artistic temperament, yes. But there may be truth in the cliche. It's no secret Rudolph Lane has been unhappy here for years. But the aggregate data shows his art's viability score trending upward over time. If Jules hadn't neglected to hold regular psychological exams, then we could have quantified the subject's emotional state, creating a sort of distress rating to compare against the art score. I'll make this a sub-goal of my study of Edward Booker. Once we set the variables and establish a control reading of his art and mental state, then we can begin inducing negative emotion. Limited food and water, perhaps. An increasingly tight living space. This is how Jules lost his subject, though. Need to be careful not to leave any sharp objects in Booker's cell.
You people are horrible. Outright horrible. Damn elevators. Oh, there is a power cell down there, locked. Locked tight. And this thing just goes over here. I don't like any of that. Are you trying to tell me that the goddamn elevator is somewhere over there? Feels like I can just go directly over there, no?
He booked the lab. Some big experiment tomorrow. I can't find the details hiding them. All those years, he steals credit for my ideas and my work, and now he's scared of being plagiarized? Oh, that is really fucking rich, Jules. Oh, and he's reportedly misplaced the manuscript pages I need for my work. Suddenly, the exact pages that I need to reference have just vanished. He is actively impeding critical bureau research. I mean, if he can do that, then what is stopping me from going down to that lab? And I don't know, just inverting the amplifiers or misaligning the receivers or both. It's the same thing in principle.
This doesn't look like Lane's style. A different artist?
From Darling, head of research. Something to get you started. I couldn't stop thinking about this new direction for the lake house after I got back to New York. I hope pivoting to researching Threshold's reality manipulation effect wasn't too much of a shock for you. It seemed like your work on containment was stalling, so I decided you all could use a fresh start.
Light switch cord.
Oh shit, we know about that one. Sure. Maybe we'll see Darling.
Quick lesson on light switch cords. If you find one, pull it 3 times. The Oceanview motel is a dimensional intersection. The doors from the lobby can lead anywhere, but I didn't end up in the lobby this time, which was definitely unusual.
To say the least. Okay. Liminal space, endless hallway, doors on each side, and a creepy door with symbol that I do not recognize yet. Look like an old style microphone. Into yet another liminal space. Who are you? Is that a spy? No, it's not a spy. It's very difficult to recognize. I don't think it's a spiral, but it really messes up my brain. Now that might be a depiction of an oldest house, giant building with no windows on over there.
Panopticon. But the Panopticon is a
Oldest
headquarters.
house.
Yeah.
I'm outside in a forest. The sun is shining. Birds are calling. I feel dirt beneath my feet. A breeze. Everything smells like rain. I'm not here. I'm in a forest. Sunlight on my face. Birds are flying past. Leaves rustle in the wind. In a forest. Not here. Sunlight. Trees are everywhere. A field of flowers.
Is that Dylan?
Not here. I'm in a forest. The sun is shining.
Holy shit!
The sun is shining. Birds are calling. Breeze. Everything smells like rain. I'm not here. I'm in a forest. Sunlight on my face. Birds are flying past. Leaves rustle in the wind. In a forest. Not here.
P6.
Trees are everywhere.
Prime Candidate 6. That was Dylan Faden.
Not here. I'm in a forest. The sun is shining. I'm outside in a forest. The sun is shining. Birds are calling. I feel dirt beneath my feet. A breeze. Everything smells like rain. I'm not here.
I don't feel like crossing the line.
Sunlight on my face. Birds are flying past. Leaves rustle in the wind. In a forest. Not here.
But he's young.
Not here. I'm in a forest. The sun is shining. I'm outside.
I'm Agent Kieran Estevez, Federal Bureau of Control. Identify yourself.
It's quiet.
Who are you?
It's been a long time since I've seen anyone.
You just look very scruffy, but I guess that's what coma might do to you.
This is an FBC containment unit. Why is the Bureau detaining you?
I'm where I belong.
Everyone I meet here is either a painting or a paracriminal. There's a sign over there for the Panopticon. The Panopticon's only in New York, in HQ. Is this the oldest house?
I think that's where I am.
So you are inside the oldest house. Is anyone else alive?
I can't.
This is a waste of time. Hey, this is important. FBC headquarters went dark 4 years ago.
Oh, 4 years. They've been fighting his for 4 years? What the
What exactly happened in there?
We were attacked.
we were... Bro.
No, no, not again. Not yet. No, 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 no.
Hey, stay with me. Stay with me.
Okay. Okay.
What attacked the oldest house? I need to know.
Something's changing. Outside. Can you feel it? I can hear it. It's getting worse. You can't stay, can you?
Hold on. I need to know if I can...
Tell Jesse I tried. I really did.
House.
This is from the trailer for The Resident. This is from the trailer for The Resident. The Row of Three. This is from the trailer for The Resident. Yo.
Felt wrong somehow. At least my voice is back to normal.
Don't call Dylan wrong, please. He has been wronged on many levels as well. But for him things went wrong since Ordinary.
The color was pure! The fire made them see!
Oh, Jesus. 1, 2, 3.
Sublevel 5.
6.
Threshold experimentation.
No.
I really hope it saved me.
The Marmonts had opened the door into Cauldron Lake's threshold. It was forced, it was unstable. Shutting the experiment down was the only option.
Is it that easy? Jules? Is it Diane behind you? Yep. 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 I honestly think you made your point.
Typical fucking Marmonts.
Oh, you jammed me in a corner.
Where'd she go? Where'd she go?
Just a moment. Yeah. Oh, come on! I used to dodge them. Yeah, that was probably a wrong way.
Why did you idiots think this was a good idea?
Oh yeah, pull the plug, pull the plug.
I know what the Marmonts did to you, to Rudolph Lane. I will do whatever I can to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen again.
A putrid weight he could never wash away!
The Marmonts are dead. I don't know if that's any sort of consolation, but it's done.
The pain, it was all over him!
The threshold is tearing itself apart. I need to shut this down. Look, I'm sorry. I know you didn't make a choice here. It's not fair, but I have to shut this threshold down before it fractures.
Damn. Typewriter?
Agent Estevez stood in the forest just outside of Bright Falls. She watched her team detain Alan Wake and Ilmo Koski, stuffing them into black SUVs. She realized this was the moment Wake had been writing in the vision she had seen. The story was coming true. She pushed the thought out of her head. It had been a good tip, a way to find Wake. Nothing more.
Alan Wake! After the threshold event collapsed, I was back at Cauldron Lake. But for a moment, I was somewhere else. I saw Alan Wake there. He was writing about me finding him in Bright Falls, in the woods. It was a good tip. I called the surviving members of my team, and I told them to meet me there. You know, these cases, they never get less ambiguous or easier. This one, this was tough. Because protocol says entities like the Taken are monsters, threats. But the Marmonts were monsters way before the Shadow got to them. So at the end of the day, what's the difference?
We wrote so many things, wrote them for you and me.
I am not gonna lie, I'm feeling very down, at a very low point. Lane's painting in the center of the threshold as a cornerstone that links the reality of the dark place or the threshold dimension, whatever you wish to call it. There's some twisted artifact that maintains the essence, the anger, the emotion of a tortured person kept against his will under the guise of some higher targets, some science, some advancements. It is horrible, and it is outright depressing. It is a cold reminder that world is full of horrible people who are convinced that whatever they're doing is that they're pursuing something higher, they're pursuing something noble, right? But at the end of the day, they are just monsters with at the very best the last slivers of their humanity left. And I want to say that it is very important for Wayne to hear that someone is sorry for him, that someone feels his pain, someone feels his... It's difficult to talk about, but I would like to think that it is some sort of consolation for Wayne if he was still there, if that part of him was in the painting, that he felt some relief that there are people out there who do not think that this is normal, that there are people who are against it, that somebody is on his side, and that he's not alone. Oh, it just sucks. And with that pain and state of depression, I must state the obvious that this expansion is insanely good. It made me angry. It outright depressed me, upset me, and these are actual genuine emotions that I feel. And it also gave us a glimpse on Dylan, some timeline that the oldest house was down for years. Knowing that Alan Wake took place and the game was released in 2010, Alan Wake 2 takes place in 2023 and the game was released in 23. I assume Control was released in 2019, so that kind of time-wise checks out. Thing is that I do not understand then. Events of Control take place in 2019, and in the end of these events, Jesse takes control back of the oldest house and lifts the lockdown because his is effectively eliminated, right? But 4 years later happens the events of Alan Wake 2 take place, right? And we know when they started. An alarm was triggered in within the oldest house. So did Jessie took her time like 4 years from the start of Control to the end of Control somehow? I'm probably putting too much sense into that because it could be that the events were way shorter. That would make sense. But in the end, they say that they still need to clear out some remaining stuff. So maybe that part took them 4 years of meticulous work over every corner of the oldest house to triple and to quadruple, like to make it ironclad that there is no hiss anymore. plausible, theoretically. And then Alan Wake 2 happens. And maybe after that, maybe after the events of Alan Wake 2, also Oldest House comes back online. And your guess is as good as mine. In support of the theory, when Kieran sees Dylan, he is unshaved, like not very clean. So I assume, yes, he was already in his vegetative state for some time. So pretty much the events of Control were done for some time. Yeah, that probably makes sense. Let's see, I assume I will be pushed back to the menu.
Deep breaths.
Okay.
Clock stopped, and another shoe was dropped. What a mess. Deep breaths.
I think with that, we can sum up the thoughts on Alan Wake 2 in general. The game is complete. Yes, I could go through the final draft myself, but I have no intention of doing that, especially given that I already covered it in my final main story episode. This was quite a journey. I have to say that I feel exhausted after it. It was a lot to take in, a lot to process it, and obviously at this particular moment I'm still not over the ending and the events of the lake house. But the story of Alan Wake 2 is insanely good. I like how tightly connected the Control and Alan Wake, the first one, with Alan Wake 2. I understand also that there are some references to Quantum Break, which just ties every Remedy game together. There is also, of course, Max Payne, but it talks about a cop in a noir New York, right? So perhaps this is a sort of like a reference towards like Alex Casey's reference to Max Payne. That would be my assumption. Artie is absolutely gorgeous in this game. We have Mayor Setter, absolutely best mayor there is, of course, the good mayor. Over the course of the story, I've made several assumptions what is going on, and I was trying to uncover the story a little bit before it is given me on a platter, and it was quite an enjoyable process to try to understand what is going on. Multiple times, because the story is built in a spiral, the tables kept turning in terms that scene when Alan is he finds Return in Ryder's room, but he thinks that Scratch routed, so he starts to put changes in it, edits, but it is him who we now consider Scratch, and somebody storms into a room and we think, oh my god, Scratch found Alan, and now he wants to take his work back. And yes, this is true, but later we realize that this is no Scratch, this is just Alan from a later timeline, from a later loop. And yes, it was his work, but from an earlier loop. So that's all interconnected. And then the final draft also presents like all these loops end up eventually in Alan storming into the writer's room, giving up, succumbing to the dark presence, and eventually being shot by Saga. But then, if he dies on another loop, if he finds this power in him, then this loop ends in him actually surviving all that. So again, tables keep turning. I'm still the character of Thomas Zane. I think I was a little bit hanged up on the fact that we saw no face in previous works of Thomas Zane. So I did not like the fact that now he bears the face of Alan Wake. It was such a scratch from American Nightmare feature to have the face of Alan. That I just became latched onto the idea that yes, this is a scratch, that he's now playing a more elaborate mind game with us, and he wants us to believe that he's no scratch, he's Thomas Zane. Then I was also hanged up on the idea that Zane is exclusively a poet, but perhaps he was indeed. Perhaps he came into Bright Falls indeed as a filmmaker from Finland. With Barbara. Things didn't pan out, Dark Presence got him, yada yada, that kind of stuff. AWE 70s redacted, you don't have clearance for the file, so forget all that. What else? Pet Main. I was very much hanged up on Pet Main. I still am. Had a little bit of a reading on that, and the theory here is that Pat was one of the torchbearers, together with Cynthia Weavers. And as people that were close to the Dark Presence, they had some sort of resistance towards its attempt to rewrite the reality, right? So Pat Main remembered that Wendy Davis used to sell Davis family beef jerky every Sunday, and maybe she had multiple flavors of it. Of course, sure. For some reason, the Dark Presence needed Wendy to be dead. So in the new reality, Wendy died in a bunker. But Pat, being resistant, still remembered that, and that kind of clashed with the new memories of every other resident of Bright Falls. There is, of course, another more down-to-the-ground theory that he simply had a dementia. And then there is an ultimate theory that it was both. It could be that in the new reality, Batman gets dementia, so maybe he was getting it. And yeah, messing up his facts. My point is that this game has a very peculiar world, sorry. Very intricate, very interconnected, and it's quite a mental exercise to try to fit it all together and see how it all works. Try to build a unified theory of what was going on, right? I think personally, I'm clearly more excited about FBC stuff, because somehow the entire bureaucracy, the entire organization that is trying to understand the unknown with the methodology and standardized approach, it just fascinates me, this idea. And the Lake House DLC, it like, I don't know, maybe the idea of the bureaucratic organization is, it feels down to the ground, it feels very realistic. Like, I struggle to imagine that in real world we might have a magical lake that if you are a good writer, it will just make your wishes come true. But somehow in my brain it works that there might be a bureaucratic organization that is that exists on your taxpayers' money and studies the unknown, and they all just exchange documents, memos, they have dailies and that kind of stuff. And it in extent, it feels so realistic that within this organization there can be absolutely like the worst scumbags that you can imagine. Because, well, honestly, they can be in any organization, but just given the matters that they're dealing with, it just feels so real, and I hate these people even more. So I hope I will not get onto any tridents, but I think I enjoyed the small, short but sweet lake house maybe a little bit more than the Alan Wake 2 story. Maybe it was because it was concise and more crammed. I don't know. Absolutely hate the new enemies. They are horrible. They made me afraid of walls with silhouettes. Please don't do that anymore. But whatever the case, whatever my emotions about particular expansion versus the main story are, I would highly recommend everybody to play the game on their own. It is an experience for sure, quite a wild ride, and yeah, let's. I just think that Remedy could use some of our support and appreciation so that they can finish their work on Resonant. Right now it's closer to the end of April when I record this, and yeah, I don't think that Resonant is that far away, but I think it's going to be a wild ride as well, another wild ride. And because it is Control, I expect to see more FBC over there, and eventually, and that is a very important word, eventually, I will be very happy to join Resonant and play this game as well. And with that, we will be closing Alan Wake. Thank you for staying with me. I hope you enjoy my company and my gameplay. And if that is the case, then please leave me a like and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, let me know down in the comments what I can improve for you. I hope to see you next time. Have a nice day out there, and bye.